Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So today we're gonna do I'm gonna say a beginner's art journal page, but I think we're gonna try to do it beginner to, what would the second one be if you're intermediate, I guess. So kind of, if you're starting out and want some ideas, or you're kind of in the middle. So this is a journal that I made. I made this a while ago with the yarn, and look at that. This is a really good example of the color shift from plaid. Look, when I shut it, you can see how it shifts the color there, and it's originally this color. See, it's purple, and then you shut it, and it shifts. Oh, their colors are beautiful. So this is a journal that I had made. I believe there's a video. If there is, I will link it at the end of this video. And I don't know if you guys are aware, I'm sure you probably are, but when you do get to the end of watching anybody's video, usually there are videos to click on, and that's where I like to put, the videos I talk about prior. But I think I used that in her hair too, but I do have videos on all of these. This is just one I put together. That's that half page. And what's else? And of course, everything I've stamped off of. I'm like kind of digging that. Am I kind of digging this? Maybe we'll do this one today. All right. So these are just pieces of paper that I printer paper, inexpensive. Could be any kind of paper you have. And I like to put it in between so it doesn't go on the other pages. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I remember. Oh, that's nice too. Stick with something, Kelly. Okay. And so what we're going to do is grab some texture paste. Now, it's also called molding paste, modeling paste, texture paint. Is what folk art calls it, but there is, Golden, Liquitex, they all make it. And if you don't have this and you would like to make your own, I have videos on how to make your own. So I will link that at the end as well. Now this is a little thicker than I like. It's a little more crumbly and thicker, but it'll work. And what I want to do is if you have a stencil with, big cutouts, that would be a fantastic thing to use. But what I'm going to use is a piece of cardboard, just a piece of cardboard. That's okay. And I'm going to move this for a second. I'm just going to show you guys nothing too fancy. You can use scissors as well. No, there's no white part. It's kind of okay, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to draw a circle. And you can use a black, Sharpie, or, whatever you have, marker. And I am just drawing a circle. I will bring that up closer. I am not measuring it. I just go around a couple times just so I get the knack for it. And you can not see because this light is really, it's a weird lighting today. There we go. Okay, and that's really it. And then what I'm going to do is go in with a knife or scissors, whatever you have, and I'm going to do an X to kind of cut through. And I will just kind of do this for a minute to give me a little bit to go in with my scissors. Now I like to use small, these are like little dollar store scissors for your nails, and they work fine. You just kind of cut, and I'm going to cut around this circle the best that I can. I don't want the inside part. You'll see the outside part. And you can use your knife, to do this if you want. I know a lot of you don't like using the X-Acto knives, so a little pair of scissors, or, what have you. So now you see we have a basic circle. So what I'm going to do is go in, because I'm basic that way. And I'm just going to cut. You could use your bigger scissors for this. A square, just, you know, for me to be able to control it a little bit better. Now, if you're very, what word do I want to say? Ambitious, you can do different, you know, do a couple different sizes. That'll work out as well and good, and, you know, that kind of thing. And I don't have this perfect, and you really don't have to. You can also, at this point, fold this in half and then go around and cut it a little bit better so it's a little smoother. You know, but I don't take too much time because it really isn't that important. Okay, so my little scissors gonna go there. All right, so here we are. So now I'm gonna take this, and you want to use, you can use paper or whatever you have. This is cardboard, and like I said, I like to save my papers from, or my backing, I guess, from, you know, different kind of things, because like I said, now I'm using this as a stencil. So I'm gonna go in, and I think I'm gonna leave the background. Am I gonna leave the background? Oh, so confusing. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take, I know you guys, a couple of you wrote me and said you didn't have scrapey things, so I will probably use a brush. I'm just gonna go in. As long as you rinse your brush out at the end, it's not gonna hurt anything. Like this. And I'm gonna kind of paint it. And all I'm really looking for is texture. Okay, so hold it down. Don't make it too thick because then it will not dry. You see? Little blobs. It's all right. I think circles and hearts and squares and all those kind of things are great things to start with, you know, when you're getting in there. Now that's a little, because this is a little wet going underneath, but that's all right. We just want some, and you can go around and like, you know, move this, push this up a little bit and kind of, you know, do your thing to it if that's what you want to do. But it's all right. And maybe I'll do half here. And just paint it on. Like that. And scrape it off that extra. I'm just trying to add some texture. It's not, you know, nothing. We're not reinventing the wheel. Yeah, that one was a little better. Okay. Maybe that's all I'll do on here because I want to paint around. Yeah, maybe that's all I'll do. Let's see. And save this because as it dries, and you can use paint, you know, you don't have to necessarily use this, but when it dries on there, it'll make that cardboard a little stiffer for you. And then, you know, you'll have it for next time and it'll be even more stiffer and easier to use. So don't throw it away, just kind of leave it hang out. I'm going to dry these for the most part. And these dry fairly quick. Now you can also use, and this, you know, this is for your art journals and stuff that you're not worried about archival. Oh, what is it called? Spackle you get at your local hardware store, like Lowe's and Home Depot. It's called spackle, and you definitely can use that as well. As you can see with this, this is texture, which is, that's why it's called texture paint. But the spackle will be smoother unless you want to add a little sand or something in it. And you can use that as well. Maybe you even already have that in your garage. Okay, so now I'm going to wash this brush off in here. Okay. And I'm going to take this yellow. And I'm going to squirt it. Is it going to squirt? Is it going to squirt? I don't need a lot, so, you know. And I'm going to go around. These for now. And you see how I'm going? Like, I don't have to worry. I'm just going to go off the page. It's not going to bother anything. Okay. Now I'm going to take some of this over here. I'm not going to go and work on this page today, but I'm going to take some of these. Now look, I went over that a little bit right there, and I'm just going to let it go. What are you going to do? Sometimes it happens like that. Okay. Go around. But if it goes off, then you have this. And what you're doing is building up a mixed media paper, whether it be a background or what have you on here, because that's, you know, that's where all the color's going. All right, so I'm going to go around here. Now, I don't want this to be so opaque that you can't see that underneath. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wet my brush. I'm going to pat my brush off, and then I'm going back in. I'm going to go over everything. I'm going to do it one more time. Adding that water. And you want it damp. You don't want it wet, because it will make everything kind of mush up. But then I'm going to go in with a paper towel, or you can use another piece. Maybe we'll do this first. You can use another piece of paper, just a piece of printer paper, and I'm going to lay it down. And I'm just going to give it a quick mush-a-mush. And then I'm going to pull it up. And you can see you got some paper, you know, some paint on there and it did lift up a lot. Maybe I can get some of this back. If I lift it up too much, it'll just make it too soggy. And you can go in, you know, with a paper towel, and you see how we still have those music notes, which I like, but the back of the page now is hello. So now I want to decide what color to do these circles. Wonder if we do, what do we do with the fuchsia color? Let's keep it very, I'm going to use a different brush though. And I'm not going to wet my brush. I'm just going to go straight in because I don't want to add any more moisture. And here's where you can kind of, you know, if you want it to be more of a circle, you can make it that way. You know, I just need a little thing there. See? I'll go over this. Oh, pull my paper down a little bit. I'm going to do the same. You can use a Q-tip, you know, anything that you have small that if you want to really get those details in there, you can, you know, use to paint and to do those outsides. Don't, you know, don't think you're stuck because, oh, I don't have a small brush or I don't have this or that. Use a Q-tip or a cotton ball or a makeup pad, you know, whatever. Matter of fact, one of the next videos I'm going to do, it's going to be using a, I guess, unconventional kind of product or thing. So, because you know I like at-home things, so I will be using that coming up. I might do it tomorrow. It depends on what the day's like. Okay. You can see a little bit of that's wet, so I'm just going to kind of dab it. And that's, you know, that's that. That's pretty much what we're going to do. So I'm going to kind of wipe my brush off over here. I'm going to get the majority of it off. See what I'm doing? I'm just kind of scraping that brush off before I put it in the water. But I'm going to take the brush a little bit, and I'm just going to, I like to hold it up here because it makes it looser. And I'm just going to kind of very lightly, like I said, not a lot of pressure. And I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on it because I'm holding it up here. And I'm just adding some of that in. Okay. And that's that. And I will hold it up to you so you can see. See how we just have some of those marks in there. And then I'm going to dry it all real quick for a little bit. I'm not going to do too long. Especially the background paper, because I want to add, Sherry, I believe, sent these to me. And I want to use it in here. You guys are sending me such good stuff to use in my art doll quilts and my art journaling all over the place. So excited. Now I can see this is a little wet over here, so I'm just going to hold this here for a second. Now listen, this is my heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun, use your hair dryer. If you don't have a hair dryer, leave it sit for 5 minutes. It'll dry. Or at your local Goodwill or thrift store, check there because you can get them for a couple bucks a piece, you know, that people give in. Goodwill, you know, we love Goodwill and all that kind of stuff, and we love to support them. And believe me, when my family goes to the Goodwill, we don't walk out empty-handed. We support Goodwill. Especially if they have records. Dave and Emily with the records. But Emily has found a lot of nice, I have too, a couple of nice shirts there, but Emily found a lot of nice shirts. And sometimes you get them new. I mean, sometimes she brings them home and I'm like, I can't believe that nobody wore this. You know, it's crazy. Oh, I better put, now look, got to put that lid on because you know that's going to be flying everywhere. All right. So this is such a beautiful, beautiful box. I don't want to ruin it, but I'm going to open it. And it is like, not cherry, they're almost like poppies, right? Or cherry. Oh, they're beautiful, whatever they are. Okay, so now let's try to find the beginning because I am never good at that. Let's see. Come on. Or at least I can pull. There we go. That's one piece, which I will use that piece. I just want to get to, come on now. God, I hate getting old, not being able to see. What the heck? It's like overnight. Overnight, my body's like, yeah, you're not going to see well tomorrow. And it's like, oh, okay. But then you wake up and it's like, I can't see well. All right, so I'm just pulling. I just want to add some of this. Any washi tape will do if you don't have washi tape. And I'm just adding for extra, you know, some contrast. piece that's a little teeny piece. And it's just going to add some nice contrast. Oh, that was an extra piece there. That was a surprise. And let's see if I can get another piece up. Are you it? Is this where you start? Or is this where you start? Oh, my goodness. I think that's it. I think I got it, but I'm going to use this. There. All right, so that's what I'm going to use for that. I'm going to put it back in this pretty box because I just like staring at this box here. And then a few things here. I'm just going to use some mask tape because, you know, why not? Just to show you that you can do the same thing. It's just adding texture maybe where there is none. And you can make your own washi tape, which I will put a video up and I will link it at the end of this video so you can see how to make some washi tape. All right, so that's really all I want to do with that. And like I said, that's just masking tape. Let's close this. And let's doodle a little bit. Let's doodle, let's doodle, let's doodle. So now maybe you have a, oh, you know what would be fun? I had these out, the watercolor crayons. This could be anything. You have gelatos, watercolor crayons, watercolor markers, whatever. I'm going to take a purple. These are Neocolor 2s. These are Acorn Dr. Neocolor 2. They are water-soluble crayons. And I want to, I'm going to have to put some stuff there. I want to add some, let's make this some flowers. Or you can doodle, you can do whatever you want. So I'm just going to color these in. And you can leave it at this. You want to use these as watercolor, you know, crayons, or like I said, use markers or whatever. Or you can use these like I'm going to use them. And I'm going to take a small, just a small brush, a round brush, whatever kind of brush you got. I'm going to wet it. And then I'm going to go in and pull it down. You know, I usually love very grungy, which this background to me is, it's like a prettier grunge. It's not necessarily grunge. I didn't usually I like to take black paint, water it down, and throw it over the whole thing. I didn't do that this time. So those of you thinking I was gonna, I didn't. I tricked you this time. And you can do this with markers too. I have markers in there. I'll show you. But you see, we can just make a little one here. Okay. And just give them a little thing there. Okay, now let's do a different color. And you can make these crazy. Let's do, I'll show you these. These are sticking together. These are the Marvy brush markers, and these are really cool, if you can open it. And let's do over here. And you can do whatever kind. Maybe you want to do like circles, right? And maybe you want to doodle inside there. But what I'm going to do is take some water on my brush, dab it off, and just paint around it and maybe fill in this one. And you see it becomes paint. Now listen, you have Crayola markers, you have Crayola paints, use them. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Use them. If your kids have them, go grab them and use them while they're in school. There's not a darn thing wrong with that. And you get to paint, you get to be creative, and you're using, you know, they're paint products. You're painting. Don't think that you're not painting because you're using Crayola or Crayola watercolor. You are. There's nothing wrong with that. Or Rose Art or whatever, you know, brand that you have. You guys ask all the time if you can use it. Of course. Matter of fact, I do have to bring up, I keep promising you guys for me to use them, and I keep forgetting to bring them up, my paints, so I can, you know, show you. Why am I, let's see if this works a little better for me. Okay. So you see, we just did some drawing. If I let that dry, now I put it a little bit over that tape, so it's a little, you know, it'll be fine though. I'm going to dry it. And then we can go in and you know, doodle if we want to. What about, let's see, because I know a lot of you get concerned buying the watercolor crayons and that kind of thing that might be a little bit more expensive. But listen, you can go get the, oh man, what are they called? Crap. I'll have to think about it, and it might be the next video because I'm gonna have to search, because I know Staples sells them, as well as AC Moore and Michaels, where you can use a coupon at them and get water soluble crayons. Urgh, I gotta remember. And maybe this one I'll just kind of do like these. You know, and then you can doodle. I love doing, like here, I'll probably do, I love doing dots. I don't know why. And I'm not going to do a lot of dots. I love doing dots, and I'm not making them even. But people get crazy with me. They'll be like, you gave me, you know, don't do too many dots or lines. It makes me sick. So I won't do that today for you. But I'm just going around like that. And then you can go in and add lines or do whatever you want. I'm going to just add a little bit of this in the middle. Obviously over the tape, it's not going to work well, but that's okay. We're just going to go with it. And then I'm going to grab my, where did my little brush go? Oh my goodness. What did I do with my little, I threw it in here. Oh my gosh, Cal. All right. And then you can see it makes it watercolory. Oh, I love it. I love it. Now, if you want it more opaque, of course, use paint. I mean, it's totally up to you. This is just playing around, showing you guys some things to do. And I'm going to, at the end, I'm going to grunge, like totally grunge it. So I just want to give you guys some tips of things that you can add to your art journal page. Or even, you know, you guys write me so much about your ATC cards and stuff, and you don't have ideas. Here's a bunch of different things that you can do for backgrounds. I mean, you know, or as a, I'm sure you'll do it way better than me. People get confused, and when I come on here and I'm like, oh, let me show you this and that, I'm not necessarily always doing a full page. I'm just kind of giving ideas. You know what I mean? For you to then go and play. But some people, you know, they like to watch and make things. So I totally get it. But sometimes that's just what I'm doing. And let's see, what color is this? Is this the color I just used? Yeah. Not going to use that again. I don't know what the heck exploded in here, but something did. You know what else is fun? Let's see, this is a kind of markers, Tombow. It's fun to kind of go in and just add. Look, we're not doing anything. Just going to add some extra color and interest. Maybe here, you know, you want to do a little bit of doodling or, you know, whatever. But just add some different colors, making just these like scratch marks. Doesn't matter. It just adds interest to the page. It's not a big deal. You're not hurting anything. If you want a pretty page, you know, but that's not what I'm doing. And then I think I want to go. I don't have. Let's flesh color. Let's see. Is this orange? We can go. Yeah, that's going to be too light. But I'm just going to add it. I wanted to make, but see, yeah, that's going to be way too light for that. I wanted to make, that's what happens when you put stuff away and it's not dry. And then I can just go in and color these. Or you can use crayons. Again, not a big deal. I'm going to just kind of dab that off. And the less water you use, the more intense it's going to be. And if I'm doing this and I want it to be even more intense while it's wet, go in with your crayon again. You know, your water-soluble crayon. And it will definitely darken up and you'll get more pigment. So you can always make it more opaque. And then if you say, oh, that's too opaque, then you just take some of it off with your brush. You know, have a scrap piece of paper and, you know, wet your brush, go in, say, oh, that's a lot. Go in and grab some and then just put it off on your, you know, on your scrap paper. Okay, so that's that. And this is just fun things. Now, something that I really enjoy doing, I enjoy doing all this, well, who am I kidding? Is I like to take white paint or gesso, whatever you have. I'm just going to use this gesso here that I have. And I like to take my paintbrush and I like to dab that. And then it's not going to work too well on there. I'm going to have to dab a little more than I want, but you know, I like to add here, and this takes a few minutes, but I really like the way, you know, the way it looks. And what else I like, come on now, is I just like adding dots everywhere. I am not getting out the stuff that I want. Come on. Yeah, and I love just adding, you know, the white around. Dots all around, you know. That could be a big dot. And then just add, you know, what you like. So, I mean, these are just some ideas to add. And I'm going to wipe this off. I'm going to put that in there. And now is going to be the fun. I think I'll go lighter only because of the colors here and because the white is wet on here. I'm just trying to dry everything real quick. Now, here's what's fun. Because of the water-soluble stuff that's on here, right? I'm going to put some of this, just a little bit. This is gesso I'm using. You don't have to use gesso. You can use white paint, which I don't have sitting here right now. So I'm just going to use gesso. I'm going to wet my brush, and I'm really going to wet this. Both sides, going to wet it again. And then I'm going in. Some of it's going to be resisted. Some of it's going to lift. It's all right. Okay, so you see how we have I go up and down, and then I'll go that way because that will obviously hit different marks. Then I'm going to take and spray water, because water is my friend. And all that work, right? And this is something you can do if you do a background or something and you hate it, or a page. Don't get discouraged. Don't get upset. Don't throw it away. Do something like this. I like using black as well, but today we're not. All right, so I'm just going to go in. I'm going to push this down. You can use another piece of paper because do you see what's coming up? Look at that. Let me see if I can pick up a lot of that color. A little bit. You can see the blue and that kind of stuff that's lifting because it's smearing. Okay. Come on, Kel. Get with the program, girl. Okay. So you see how it pushes all that color back? And I can go in with some more if I want, if there's a certain part that I want, and then go back in. Now I'm using a paper towel. What this is going to do is add a little bit of extra texture if I wanted to. And then we have a background, and you can then start over. You can, this becomes your mixed media background. Think of it that way. If you don't like it, like I said, that's why I love playing and I love doing backgrounds and then just throwing stuff on it, because like I said, now I can add some, which would look pretty. I can add some scrapbook paper on top. I can, where did that go? I can, you know, stamp a word or words. I can use my little word stamp. I can put, you know, I can put more washi tape to make it come forward. I can do all kinds of things. Now here's a fun thing. I don't like wasting, but I'm just going to show you. You know, I have the tape on here, and I love the washi tape, and you can go in with your wet rag, and you can wipe, and your washi tape, you know, or whatever part you want to show will come through. So you won't have to lose those if you don't want. Do you know what I'm saying? But what's fun is to go and take a piece of your masking tape, if you can lift it up. Kind of down. I kind of ripped the paper when I lifted it. But what happens is, do you see? You're getting some of that yellow, that background coming through. So think of things that way when you're working. No, I kind of ripped that, so we'll just lay that right there. And, you know, I can see here's another one. You might want to take your heat gun and kind of there we go. Oh. And you see, we got another one. So, you know, you can do this in so many different ways and really get a lot of interest to your page. Like this piece, look. I mean, you're getting all this great, delicious little peeps of background coming through. You know, then also you can take, where did I go with that? What have I done? I can't find what I did with it. Oh my goodness gracious. I just had it sitting in here. You can take a stencil, any stencil you want. You can take a spray. Let's do, what color are you? Peony. Hold it up here. Just give a little. Now we're adding extra interest to the page, right? We're adding some different colors. We're adding different textures. You can turn this over and just go in and kind of put it down. And what happens is when you lift it up, you see that? That's all the spray, and it's laid down a different texture. Then I'll put this over here, just kind of scrub the rest off. I never wash these because it's not that big a deal. But you see what I'm saying? So you just keep playing and playing. And, you know, it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of fun to see what you can do. And then something for the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take, let me take this. This is a black marker. And I see my circles here. So for me, I'm just going to kind of go in and do a couple of those. And I love doing these petals just because I like it. But you don't have to, like I said, and you can go ahead and you can do one, you can do a bunch, you can color them in, you can do whatever you want and just have fun. And you've made this beautiful background. And to me, it's beautiful. I love grunge. I love, you know, that kind of thing. And you can just build on top of it, you know. And you can see this is permanent now. If it's too dark for you, the black, just go in, throw a whitewash over it. Go in with your, let me put you here. Oh no, that's pretty permanent. What is that? What the heck is this? Bee Green Super Color Refillable Permanent Marker by Pilot. That's sweet. I'm gonna have to experiment and play with that. Because that was like, I ain't going nowhere. It's not the day for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I talk a lot. I just had a lot of fun just playing around, just sitting and playing for different ideas. But look how that stencil did on the top. How awesome. So a lot of fun, a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite art journal supply is that you love, or let me know your favorite go-to when you are stuck on a canvas or an art journal page or an ATC card. Let me know down below what you guys do to kind of, you know, ignite that creativity in you so you can continue. This is stuff I love to do. I love having ideas. Like, you guys want to see my journals that I do, you know, that I don't put on here. Well, this is kind of one of them. Something that I would do without putting this on camera. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it because this does give you many ideas. You don't have to use the same colors. You don't have to use any of that kind of thing. Use what you have. And it gives, you know, you many ideas of what to do. And this is I love doing backgrounds. I love backgrounds. I love them simple. I love them, you know, grungy. I love pretty. I love ugly. I love them all. So let me know. Let me know what your go-to is. This is mine, definitely. Like I said, it looks like crap, but this is a great background to start. And if you don't like it, just, you know, rip up some scrapbook paper, glue it down, and go to town. So as always, please be kind to each other. You never know about somebody else is fighting. I love you guys. Progress, not perfection. We are playing. We are having fun, and you're not going to worry about it. And I will see you guys in my next video. I love you guys so very much. I just thank all of you. I just thank all of you. You guys are the best. Bye, guys.